When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die.
Warning, this podcast contains explicit language and spoilers. This is Behind the Iron Throne, your unofficial Game of Thrones cast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, all of the hashtag Thronies, hashtag BTidians. We love you so much. Welcome back to Behind the Iron Throne. This is episode 173, recorded October 22nd, 2017. Holy shit, it's almost Halloween. And I'm so excited to bring you a great panel of Game of Thrones enthusiasts. You know them, you love them. Oh, John's not here tonight. I'm sorry. Hashtag beard lives do matter. He couldn't make it. He's babysitting his sweet little niece, Aria. That's right. If you haven't been paying attention to the podcast, or if you're new to the show, he has a beautiful niece. Her name is Aria, swear to God. And of course, you can always stay up to date with all the wonderful things from your favorite podcast by going to facebook.com/Behind the Iron Throne. Now, let's go and talk to another amazing host. She's the mistress of whisperers. She's a knower of all things great and small and indifferent when it comes to the Game of Thrones, and she believes that vampires exist in George R. R. Martin's world. Hello, Andrea. Welcome to the podcast.
Do I believe in vampires in George R. R. Martin's world?
I'm going to
Hi,
say,
guys.
how are you?
I'm still on the fence about vampires. I haven't quite figured it out. Bloodletting, that is a big mystery to me from Bruce Bolton, but I just don't know. But I'm doing really well. This is actually, I think, my very first podcast back since the season wrapped. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so. Well, you and I were trying to do a podcast a couple weeks ago when everything in the studio failed. I mean,
Yeah.
everything failed. It didn't happen, unfortunately. You and I spent hours troubleshooting.
It was fun, though.
It was fun. We still got
Lots
to
of
talk a
fun.
lot of stuff.
But yeah, so this is my very first show back since the season wrapped, I believe.
Yay!
No, this is my second show because we went back and we talked about the finale together. Yeah, I've missed you guys so much. I've been out of the loop. I was super sick for like a month and a half. I couldn't talk. And being back, this is exciting. And we have a special guest host tonight. And we're missing John because he's with baby Aya. Yeah, this is going to be exciting. I went and dug up some dirt, and I'm really happy to be here with you guys. I miss your faces.
Oh, that's sweet. I miss your face too.
That's why you have my face. That's because I'm a person right now.
I swear to God, she's a person. If you watch live at facebook.com/Behind the Iron Throne, you can actually see us live. You can see the faces. Or you go to our YouTube channel, BehindTheIronThrone.tv. You like how I plug that? It just happens naturally. Woo!
We can't make that shit up.
Without further ado, I'd like to introduce another vital part of the team. She has the ability to whisper and talk to dragons. I'm not even kidding. I literally saw her fly across my state of Pennsylvania on the back of a dragon, shooting rainbow fireballs. It was absolutely glorious. Trin, welcome to the podcast, and please introduce your guest, our guest on the podcast. First time ever in the podcast world.
Yay!
Yay!
Yay! Yeah. So, hi guys, Trin here. Follow me wherever, Instagram, Twitter, blah 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 at Dovahkiin Trin. And my special guest today is Mama Cheryl.
Mama.
Hi guys. She's out visiting from the West Coast.
How cool is that?
Yep, to the East Coast. Me, because I kidnapped her mostly.
But she's
And she made it here. It's been a long couple days for her.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're happy to be settled back, and we just got back in today.
Yeah.
After
So
she's been 3 days traveling and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But yeah, go ahead, Mama.
Yeah. Hi everybody.
It's great to have you
Hi,
here.
Chris.
Now,
Nice to meet you. Andrea, I love you.
I love
Jonathan,
you too.
I wish you were here.
Yeah, poor John.
You actually get to play Johneraries.
New word.
You get to be the Johnnerary John.
Okay. Okay.
You have to make up words and mispronounce everybody's name.
I can sit back and smile and have my eyes
This
shiny.
is
I
gonna
already
be a
am.
good show.
That's funny.
Born of the chair.
So this is a magical podcast because I actually had my mom on the podcast 2 years ago, and having you on here, that's two moms on this podcast. I don't know any other. I'm going to go on the record here and say I don't think any other Game of Thrones podcast has ever had their host mothers on.
We win.
I think we won. I think we did it. We have been victorious.
How do you make
and
Blow out the water.
make sure when the podcast voting award thing happens, I'll let you guys know when it happens. Make sure you vote for Beat Hit
Absolutely.
because we need
They
some.
have a podcast voting. thing?
They do, where you can win awards. Yeah, it's
Oh
the
my
pod-
gosh.
Oh, and I'd like to
Yeah.
throw in Patreon. I need everybody to become Patreons as well because
yes.
this is the greatest podcast. They're all good, but this is the greatest, and let's all help them and keep it going.
See that's from Mama Cheryl. She's literally telling you right now this is the best
Yes,
podcast.
And I can
and-
because I was the first.
Yeah, she
You
was
were
the
the
first.
first.
That's right. She was the first patron. I mean, I literally just hit upload, submit, and bam, she was right there. She was all over it, like
She's,
flies on
she
shit.
broke our
She was ready to
Patreon
go.
cherry.
She broke our Patreon.
And if you want to support the podcast, you can support the podcast through our Patreon. The link is in the description of this video, or if you're listening to this podcast, it's in the description of this podcast. And of course, you can find all the links any way you want to possibly help us at BehindTheIronThrone.com. Speaking of which, we're going to go to an Audible commercial a little bit later. We do have some bad news, a little bit of bad news. Well, I figured we'd knock it out right now and then get back into the fun shenanigans.
Yeah, let's do that.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
one of my favorite, I guess you could say, narrators or read by persons is Roy Dotrice. And Roy Dotrice passed away. An absolute shame. How old was he? 92, I think he was.
I don't know the answer to that.
94.
He was
He was
94.
94.
I couldn't see if it was natural causes or I didn't see any details. I saw that he died.
So. I think he died at home.
I think he died at home with a belly full of wine and a beautiful woman house on his.
On his dingaling?
No, I think it was natural causes. Yeah.
It's the best way to die.
Right.
I'm going to get so much
Yeah.
hate mail for that. Oh, you're a pig, Chris. Well, I am what I am. I'm a little bit of Lannister.
He was a great.
Aw.
He was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to play a little bit. One of the reasons I'd love the audio, I love Audible. I mean, I
No
promote it
cause
all
was
the
given.
time. But I love the way he read the book. So I'm going to play a little bit from the Game of Thrones. This is Roy Dotrice, and this is in memory of who I think is one of the greatest readers of all, read by readers of all time.
Prologue. We should start back, Garrett urged as the woods began to grow dark around them. The wildlings are dead. Do the dead frighten you? Sir Waymar Royce asked with just the hint of a smile. Garrett did not rise to the bait. He was an old man, past 50, and he had seen the lordlings come and go. Dead is dead, he said. We have no business with the dead. Are they dead? Royce asked softly. What proof have we? Will saw them, Garrett said. And if he says they're dead, that's proof enough for me.
So what I loved about Roy was he read so many different characters, and he had a little bit different voice for everybody. Some of them overlapped, but he did a really nice job when he did the audiobooks, and it really got me initially into the book part because I don't have time to sit and read. So it really made it it made it really enjoyable, and I'll always be grateful for Roy Dotrice and his books. Hopefully his family is able to mourn, and I hope that they're okay. And it's a shame. I mean, he was 94, and I was really hoping that George would have put Winds of Winter out, and Roy could have done one more book before he passed. But alas, I don't think that was what happened. So you'll definitely be missed.
Did you guys know that Roy Dotrice played the alchemist in season 2 that had the
Yeah.
Wildfire with Tyrion,
So exciting.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's the one that talked to Tyrion.
Yeah.
Yeah, John and I, good old Beard Live Matter, Lord Duckdarian and I argued about that because this is back years ago. Man, that was like 3 years ago we argued about that. And I told him, I said, John, that was Roy Dotrice. And he didn't believe me, but it was.
For the longest
you're-
time. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so you're right sometimes.
Sometimes
Right?
I actually, hey, I'm right that Roy Dotrice is awesome.
My
So
Lannister
sometimes I'm
banner
right.
just fell down. I think that's the fall of the Lannister house.
No.
Just behind me. I don't know.
Winter has come.
Yeah. Bye.
That's not nice.
No, I was for the longest time. I thought Roy Dotrice. I knew he made a cameo in the show, but I thought he was the old guy in the village that Arya and Sandor came across. That was like, "Hey, I'd like some. Do you have any wine?" And they're like, "No, we just have the water." And then Arya kills him, like out of a mercy killing, or no, Sandor killed him. Sandor killed him in mercy killing.
Yeah, when he was teaching Arya where the heart was.
Yeah, yep, that was it. I thought that was the guy that was Roy Dotrice, but then I found out later I was wrong. So don't bet on me.
Well, don't feel bad because actually a lot of people got that wrong. A lot of people thought that as well. But I definitely love the way I'm really going to miss him. Not, I mean, who's going to read the new books? It's just not going to seem the same, I guess, at first. So that's a real shame. Definitely going to miss Roy.
I vote Morgan Freeman or the guy who does the Allstate commercials.
Yeah, Morgan Freeman. You could literally get him to read the back of a toothpaste bottle, and I would be interested.
Exactly.
I don't even know what a toothpaste bottle is, but you're right.
On the back,
Tube bottle. Don't judge.
The tube. Yeah. Okay, maybe Mentadent had a bottle at one point where it mixed the two at the same time. Why am I getting into this? I don't know.
I don't know.
Look,
My
a squirrel.
husband's next to me cracking up though.
Look, a squirrel. Squirrel. I'm pulling a John.
Oh God. Oh God. All right. Well, Eric says the Winds of Winter will be out in 2040.
Probably.
That's funny.
Eric, you like to break my heart. Don't ever, 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 ever say that again. God, that's like what?
Armani says a dead lion, good omen.
23 years.
No, that's not good. We need to keep the lions alive. What we need is Cersei to die.
She's
Asia,
the only
hi.
lion that matters in her mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's definitely delusional. But if you look at it from her perspective, I wonder if I would think that. Well, I definitely would not. But yeah, she thinks she's important. Yay, we got more and more people in the chat. I tell you, we love the chat room, and we're going to try to read every comment that we can in the chat room. You know, it's really easy to become, to get really ingrained in our community. I know a lot of people really don't like Facebook, but I'll tell you, if you want to be a part of a really awesome community, come on over here and join Club BTIT group page. Come check out our show live and chat with us. It's a lot of fun. If that's the only reason you use Facebook, then please do it. It's one of the social medias I actually enjoy. More than the other ones, but it's a lot of fun here, absolutely for sure. So, and it's easy to get to. Just go to facebook.com/Behind the Iron Throne, and come and have a good time with us. Also, Andrea's book club has been phenomenal. Andrea, you got a whole group of people in your book club, and I know that you got sick and you had to get back up on things, but everything's back on the up and up.
Yeah, everything is doing well. I'm finishing up my notes. I also was pulled into another like collaborative book club group, which is basically running on the same pace as ours. So I'm kind of going back and forth, and they're talking about Brand 2 right now. So there's been a lot of great conversation going on. It's really crazy how when you're going through and you're making notes and you're really like trying to learn the chapters and the characters and the hidden things that are within the story itself, how much you start to notice. And even for somebody like me who's arguably read the books probably like 40 times, I'm still going through and I'm finding new things about it. And so Brand 2 has been a hot topic this week. There was so much foreshadowing to him being the three-eyed raven, him actually liking to be up in the air, him knowing Winterfell better than anybody else, even in ways that Rob would never know it. Being in the crypts, he saw Brandon, one of the Brandons from the past, and called him the dreamy, had a dreamy look, which was really interesting because I thought to myself, oh my gosh, he said the one with the dreamy look is a Brandon, but not him. And I thought to myself, this Brandon was a Greenseer, because when Bran is all worked out, he looks like he's dreaming too. And so I was like, this is a really good callback, which also kind of connects some dots, letting us know that there has been more Brandons in history that have been Green Seers that have the connection. So Bran would technically know Winterfell like better than any other lord, including his brother Robb. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Also, there's some really, really good information about the first keep in his chapter too, about how it was completely abandoned since over 100 years before even Ned was born. So Ned was 36 at the beginning of the series. So at least 150 years, which would date back to the time of like Dunk and Egg or slightly before then. The broken boy who was struck by lightning and the crows pecked out his eyes that old Nan told him about, I thought was a fable that she had told him to scare him from climbing. And then it turns out that you have this information about the broken tower. And it's quite possible that old Nan did tell him about a boy who actually was struck by lightning, who actually did fall. And it basically has the same significance as Bran. So if you are interested in the reread and you haven't had the opportunity to go through, please stop by the page. We have an interactive file. I've been making some posts about some of the finds that I've been making. And we're on Bran 2, moving on to Tyrion 1 right now. So I look forward to coming for you guys to come by and see it and check it out. Let us know what you think.
Yeah,
Tom
great
says,
work.
thanks for all your work, Andrea.
Thank you.
Yeah, Andrea is absolutely amazing, not only with the facts and the information, but with the community stuff as well. So my hat goes off to you, darling. I couldn't do what you do on the Facebooks every single day. She's there, so that's why it's a good reason to be a part of the community. And we got a really cool contest coming. We got one coming. We got one going on right now, which Trin has came up with. And Trin, if you want to talk a little bit about that and what your progress is going with the contest.
Sure. So we got a pumpkin carving contest that we're doing, and it's I just put the video up this week about it. I got all the details worked out about what you guys can do, what you can't do. I did have some people ask if they could paint a pumpkin along with carving, and that's perfectly fine. You can add paint. You can dress your pumpkin up as much as you want and add props and do whatever you want. I think that's great. Creative license, awesome. But you do have to carve something. You have to carve the pumpkin somehow as well. So that's kind of like the only little caveat. It's got to be carved. But the rules of the contest are posted along with the video. And if you guys could submit your pumpkin pictures, or if you want to submit a quick little video, that's fine too. But submit them to the thread that I had posted my video on. And judging will be at the end of October, so I think you have about 10 days-ish to do that. So for all the people listening on the podcast who aren't able to come to the show on Facebook Live, you can still post. Just go to Facebook. If you don't watch our show on Facebook, but you do listen to and you want to participate, you can forward that picture or video or however you want to submit your submission to admin@tnerdtea.com.
Yes,
and we'll
or
get
or the Gmail, or the Behind the Iron Throne at gmail.com, whichever is easier.
Or Behind the Iron Throne at gmail.com. And what we're gonna do is the date. I don't have it in front of me, but I will get that. Oh, I do have it in front of me actually.
Yay, it's right there. And I'm
yeah.
just gonna say something real quick. If you were taking a video with your iPhone, especially with an iPhone.
Especially with an iPhone.
If you want to get some brownie points and gold stars in my vote, videotape it with an iPhone, and make sure you carve it with a sword. I don't even care if it comes out looking like stupid. If you took a sword, like if you took Longclaw and just rammed that son of a bitch, I will vote for your pumpkin. You'll have my vote, but it has to be recorded with an iPhone. I'm a little biased. And you have to stab it with a sword. I will. I know the difference. God, I'm a nerd.
All right, so we're taking submissions until 6 p.m. Eastern Time, October 29th. That will be the hard deadline for submissions, so you have to get them in. Yes. That gives us a little bit of time here to pick out. Each host is going to pick out their favorite, and from that, we're going to post those favorites, and you guys will get to vote on them. So the actual contest winner will be fan chosen. We're gonna pick out the contestants, but you guys get to pick who the winner is, and the winner is gonna get. I have my little wine glass here. You guys get a fancy set of wine glasses. One has the Stark sigil, and the other one has the Targaryen sigil. So
That's
Yeah,
That's
exciting.
awesome.
there you go.
I'm excited to
Yeah.
see. I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
And who wins. We've had a couple people mention that they're hard at work on said pumpkins. And like Trent said, if you want to, just email them to us either at the admin@tnrt.com or at behind the iron throne at gmail.com. So you don't even have to be on Facebook to be a part of this, but you do have to be in the United States. That part you do have to, yeah.
Yes.
But let's see, what was I going to say about that? So the deadline is the day after my son's birthday.
I have a
So
question.
even I can remember that.
Are we going to be recording on next next Sunday?
I believe we are. Yeah, we should be. I think. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
What is next Sunday anyway?
It's the Sunday before Halloween. It's fine.
Oh,
29th.
it's
The 29th.
Oh, yes,
yeah,
yes, yes.
that's the deadline for the pumpkins.
No.
Oh.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. That is. I thought the.
Oh my God, that
29th
means
was
Halloween's
for whatever
Monday?
reason.
Halloween's on
No, it's
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay, Tuesday.
It's 1 week exactly after my birthday.
Nice.
Oh yeah, it's
You're an October
Tuesday
baby
this
too.
week.
You and my son.
Scorpios.
Yeah.
I am actually a Librio. I am technically
Is that a real thing?
Scorpio. Well, it can be a real thing. If you look
The
it up
John word.
in other books. No, it can be. They call it a.
A cusp.
They actually reversed it,
right?
but so what
A
it is?
cusp.
Yeah, I was born on the cusp. I
So was I.
literally was born right when Libra went into Scorpio. So it
Mhm.
ended at midnight on the 23rd and began at midnight on the 24th. 12 a.m. on the 24th. So I am a Scorpio through and through with really strong Libra traits, and it makes me extremely confused.
I'm confused
bet.
too. I'm a
Well, that's why I'm
Cancer
such
and
an
a
emotional
Leo.
creep.
So that would be Ken Leo. No, that sounds stupid.
You're
Yeah.
predominantly a Cancer.
I'm more
Oh.
Cancer though than Leo. I
Are
think.
you born in
totally
Cancer or
see
Leo?
Cancer. Yep.
Yeah, because I was born on July 22nd. I'm right on the cusp.
No,
So-
yeah, you are definitely more Cancer than you are Leo.
Yeah.
If you were Leo, your wife would probably hate you.
Well, we have a taser in the house.
Oh,
if-
that's perfect.
for anybody that's married and you have an issue with your spouse, you can get these tasers. They have domestic and prison settings. You always want to use,
Domestic and prison.
yeah, you always want to use domestic, and keep it hidden from your spouse, because once they get a hold of it, yeah, you're
That's
screwed.
so funny.
You are screwed.
So anyway,
Always
about
put it
Game
on
of
prison.
Thrones, there is a Game of Thrones meme going around about the different like astrological signs too.
Yeah, that's a good
You
one
could
because
do
Melisandre is my girl.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, she's
I got
mine,
Daenerys,
July.
of course.
I could
didn't
see that.
it.
Yeah,
Would you get jiggy with Daenerys?
in a minute.
Absolutely. I mean,
Totally to ride her dragons though.
is that something that there's
Really
actually a meme about this? If you could if you were stuck on an island with one Game of Thrones character, who would it be and why? And that would be for the rest of your life. I'm like, this is a no-brainer. Daenerys, obviously. She
Yeah.
has dragons. You could catch a ride to the mainland, go hang out, and then go back to your island later on
Yeah.
with the Mother of Dragons.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
the one you want. It's a no-brainer.
Everything she dreams comes true. So all she has to do is dream that you're leaving the deserted island, and you're getting off. Dragons or no dragons, somehow it comes true. What about
Okay.
Mama Cheryl? What's your girl?
Davos.
No,
Oh,
you're
girl?
the one that
You gotta
which-
pick a girl.
August, whatever August
Oh,
was.
yeah. What's I
Oh
don't
shit!
know.
Let me see if
You
I
saw
have.
it,
I know, but I forgot.
Catelyn.
Oh,
I think she got
Catelyn,
Catelyn
yeah.
Stark.
Catelyn
Where
Stark.
is this meme at?
It's
I
right.
John posted it. I thought.
Yeah, he did.
Which
It's
page?
right
Yes.
under.
Yeah, she got Catelyn Stark, which I thought was fitting since she's like the Mama Stark.
I'd rather Arya, but
Yeah,
Where
I
is
could
this?
I could
I
see
need
you
to
with March. My God, I can't think of her name. She's my favorite girl. One of my favorite girls. Missandei.
Oh,
Missandei? she's
Missandei.
beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is
cute, yeah.
gorgeous.
I'd do her.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
I like
I
how
wouldn't
you
force
like.
myself on Missandei, but Nathalie Emmanuel, she is yes.
Mama Cheryl, do you have a favorite character in the Game of Thrones?
Sir Davos.
Oh,
I love him.
I like
I
him
just-
too. So, what is it that you like about Davos? What is it that really
What do you
stands
like?
out to you about his character?
okay.
His whole demeanor. He's just so chilled and
Wise.
knows a lot of things. He's
Yeah.
very wise, but he kind of has it all down, but kind of doesn't care about what he doesn't need to care about, you know. And he's just cool. I think he's just cool. His attitude.
Yeah, he's definitely a down to earth character, which I really like, and I like the fact that he's not highborn. He's realistic. He's a very realistic type character. Does that make sense, Andrea?
Yeah, actually, I like that he's humble. He definitely has this like sense about him that's very humble, and it makes him easier to relate to. And so he's not one of these really pompous high lords who've been playing these games and trying to seek advancement his whole entire life. He just is literally there to serve, and I think that was one of the most endearing qualities about Davos in general. It's even with Stannis. Stannis knew that he wasn't ambitious. That's why you could trust him. And that's really what it comes down to with Davos. Of all these characters that are out there who could have something to gain, Davos isn't there looking for something to gain.
Right. But I think he knows it's like he knows the not that he knows his place, but like with Stannis. I mean, he was good for his wisdom. He's a lot smarter than he puts out because he doesn't need to. And he's a good one for that. And so he helps people, but he's kind of lays back in the background and just he knows what he knows. He doesn't need everybody to know that.
Yeah, he's a refreshing character because I mean you have psychopaths, you have people that are really heavy on the politics, and then you have Davos. And Davos is like, here's the truth. Here's what it's gonna. I'm gonna tell you the truth, one way or the other. And it's almost gotten him killed several times, but he still does the right thing, and I really like that. And it's not like. And what's cool about Davos is he doesn't do it because of a god. He doesn't do it because he believes in this god or that god. It's because it's the right thing to do and it's the truth. He's a very simplistic character, and it's very refreshing on a show that is so complex. So that's one of the reasons why I really like him, and the actor and the mannerisms of the character. What really draws me into a character is how the actor portrays him, especially. So one of the reasons I really like say Jamie Lannister, is the way that Costa Waldo plays him, the mannerisms, the way that he brings the character to life from what I like from the books, and
Such a good actor.
yeah, he does a phenomenal job, and of
I
course the progression of the character through the story. So my next question to you, Mama Cheryl, is how do you like Jamie Lannister?
I actually like him a lot.
See, yay!
Really do.
Eat
For
that, Jon
everything you
Stoma,
just said,
Stark lover.
And then some.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, now, I mean, I am Jonathan's biggest fan, but
That's
and
true.
there's reasons, but
That's true. But any
No,
chance I try
really
to
do.
convert you, I'm going to try.
I like
Exactly. Priorities.
yeah.
Yes.
I have a question, and I'm gonna ask it by paper, so you guys can continue the conversation.
Okay, you're going to ask it by paper.
Yeah, I'm writing it right now. I've
Oh.
gone too far. I can't go back now.
Okay.
Fair enough. So we were talking about.
Armani says.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you're gonna say,
No, we
Hi,
had-
Armani.
Yay, Armani.
yeah. Hi, Jeremy. Jeremy's here with us. Thanks for watching, Jeremy.
Hi, Jeremy.
Did he say Jamie can burn? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed it. 'cause
No,
there was a-
Jamie's.
We did that whole redemption.
Yeah, we don't. Well, even
arc.
John, Lord Ducdarian, said that he was redeemed or
Yeah.
on the path, and that would be good.
He's the
He
hard
didn't
one.
even have to kill his sister.
But even
Yeah.
still, at least he had scruples. A little bit, sort of.
I still think Arya's gonna kill Cersei with Jamie's face somehow.
Hope so.
I think Arya is the Valonqar for real.
hmm
The
I
younger one.
hope that doesn't require Jamie dying.
Right. No.
Well, she's been using people's faces. Well, she's been killing people's faces. Never mind.
But that would be
Okay.
cool if that were to happen without the murder, death kill to Jamie.
All right, here's my question.
How did I get Sansa?
Yes.
Yeah, how did you get Sansa?
I'm I'm at
Oh,
the end
and-
of October. How did I get
Oh, it's
Sansa?
That's
October.
funny.
I mean, that would be my second choice.
Yeah, but you're a Sansa lover, right? And Andre is not.
Absolutely. I'm a
I would-
huge Sansa fan.
I don't hate Sansa like I hate Cersei, but I don't love Sansa either. I would much rather have Arya, or Lyanna, or Missandei, or even Melisandre. I would love to have Melisandre. At this point, I would even love to have Lysa Arryn because I talked to her and I understand
knew
her
you
better
were gonna
now.
say that. I knew because Lysa in real life, Andre got to talk to her
Yeah,
and
I
have a conversation
know.
with her. So she was like, "She's such an amazing woman!" Like twice
Well,
too. It wasn't
not
just
only
we
that,
talked
but
to her while we were doing she was doing the panel, and then later, just on the fucking escalator.
She's a great actress.
she's
she's
talking to her.
phenomenal. But
Yeah.
what was great about it was I had absolutely no tolerance for Lysa whatsoever. And then you meet Kate Dickie and you hear her idea of how she wanted to portray this actress, and she gives you a little bit of insight into Lysa's inner mechanisms, and you start to see a whole different character. You know what I mean? And yeah, she was twisted and she did really crazy things, but she also had a reason for doing those things and being the way that she is. And I just have an all new appreciation for her, and that's all because of the actress.
Yeah. Jamie says, or I'm sorry, Jeremy. They were talking about Jamie. Jeremy says, "I would never leave the Eyrie."
Fun fact: did you know that the Eyrie is only called the Eyrie because it's in a high, inaccessible place where typically birds of prey tend to live? And Bran called it the Eyrie, called the Broken Tower the Eyrie, and I thought that's a weird place for that, so I looked it up, and it makes sense now because House Arryn is the falcon, which is a bird of prey, and their seat is at the very top of a mountain, which is inaccessible. So I was like, huh, you learn something new every day. I wouldn't leave the Eyrie either.
So I got a quick question. I just thought of this as we were recording. Now that Littlefinger's dead, who's the Lord Protector of the Eyrie? He was like fostering Robin, or he was what the hell was he? The Lord of Harrenhal, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Warden of the West. No, not Warden
No.
of the
If we're
what the hell, East?
if we're technically speaking, Jaime Lannister is the warden of the. It is the East.
No, it's
It is the
Westerland.
no. The Westerlands is where House Casterly Rock is. He's the warden of the East, while Hoster Tully was supposed to be the warden of, or the Lord Paramount of the Trident. Jaime Lannister was awarded the Vale and all of its houses around there because Robert didn't feel like Robin was strong enough to command them because he was a sickly little kid and he was being basically taken care of by his mother. Even though Jaime wasn't supposed to have them, he technically was awarded them. Basically, Robin Arryn's title was a novelty to anyone in the kingdom except for Lysa. But now that Peter Baelish, Show Baelish, is dead, I would assume that it would go right back to Robin Arryn, and maybe Lord Royce would become protector of the Vale.
Royce too.
That would be that was my guess, but I wasn't sure.
Mm-hmm.
I still
I have a feeling Sansa's going to somehow end up with the Vale, honestly.
she could. I want to see what's going to happen. Remember when Tyrion was talking to Jon Snow and he says, "Yeah, we never consummated the marriage. It was a mistake or it was a joke or whatever."
Yeah.
So was that basically the show saying that doesn't count? So there is no. Was that the show very gently, or like basically saying at that moment that there's nothing between Sansa and Tyrion, that's just not happening?
I think that that's basically what they're hinting at. I don't know if that means that something's not going to happen later on, but I think that for Tyrion, and my opinion personally, was that he was trying to put Jon at ease about Sansa because that was his sister and all the things that he have been through, and the fact that she was forced to marry him in the first place. I think he was more trying to I don't know if this is even the right word, assuage. He's trying to calm or basically give Jon comfort that he didn't take advantage of or anything like that. Non-consummation of marriage is futile at this point because we also learned in the same season that Rhaegar divorced his wife and married Lyanna, and they had consummated and had 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I don't know. I think it's subject to interpretation at this point, but I would say that that was probably Dave and Dan
She
saying.
threw that 2 kids thing in. We don't know that for sure. That's, I don't share that with you, Andrea.
You don't think that Elia had 2 kids with Rhaegar? It was.
I thought you meant
Oh.
I thought you were talking about the twin theory of
Oh,
no.
yeah.
No.
I
I'm
was
just
like,
going.
oh.
I'm just going based off of show.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
still think it's true, but no.
It's
By
right.
facts of what
Yes.
we know show wise, no, it's just Elia having 2 kids, and she still ended up
Alia
being put to the
definitely-
side.
Mama
but
Cheryl,
beyond-
Mama Cheryl, how do you feel about, or how would you like to see Tormund Giantsbane play with Brienne of Tarth? How would you like to see that relationship? Are you shipping that couple? Is that one? Yeah. I think everybody is. I haven't seen one person say no. I'm actually, if anyone in the chat is against that, please type in the chat and let me know why. I'm for it. Everyone's for it. I'm waiting to see someone say no.
Absolutely. That was my biggest concern when the wall started coming down and he wasn't down on it yet. I'm like, no, he's got to get with Brianna.
Nice. Did you
Not
have a
thing,
favorite
Laura.
episode, Mama Cheryl, from season 7, or was there like a favorite scene or something that really stuck out to you, that really drove that this last season home?
Well, yeah, that's a hard question. Can I tell you that in a minute?
Yeah, you can think about it for a second because
'cause
it's
there's a
hard
few
for me
very
to
good
pinpoint that as well.
Mhm.
I mean, there's so many cool things, and there were some things that really hit home. I mean, like one of the really powerful things that happened that we all know about is the death of Viserion. When the Night King just pulled that shit back and just heaved. I mean, that guy's got some aim on him. I mean, it's funny because then there's the other dragon like right there, but we're gonna throw it at the one flying around. I guess that's just how it was written. But it was that was like one of those things where even my mom said to me that she started crying. She's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe they did that." And the hot blood shooting out. And my mom said she was in tears. And I'm like, "Yeah, that really did suck." But I still don't think it was as bad as Oberyn's head being exploded.
That was nasty.
Yeah, see? Thank you. It was absolutely disgusting. So that
Yeah,
was
I liked him too. A lot.
Oberyn was a really cool character.
Mhm.
I wish that they could have changed the HBO series just to keep him around longer because
Right.
he was just such a fun character to have in the show.
Yeah, he was. He was very suave, but yet sarcastic and witty in a good way, but just overall lovable.
So another scene that I thought was really cool about season 7, something else that stuck out to me, was that Dany and John flippity flop making out, having sexual intercourse on the boat, and what that means for next season. So I'm really excited about that, which also leads to some news that Andrea has about Kit Harington, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They just actually sat down within the last week and did their final table read. By final, I mean there won't be one next year, which is where all the leading actors and, well, anyone who's been in the show for 8 seasons or 7 going on 8 seasons sits down and they read through the script and the plot synopsis and they kind of figure out what the direction of the show is going to be. And so he got the call saying that they were going to do the final sit down and do the table read. And he said by the time he was done with it, he was in full out tears. Now, he did try to play it off and say that the reason why he was crying wasn't anything specific to the script. It was just that, the characters have become such an integral part of their lives over the last 9 years, that they've just become so attached. And so saying bye is, going to be very hard for them. But he also said that he's basically been saying goodbye to everyone for the last year. So I don't understand why reading a script would, break down to saying goodbye unless there was something in the script that was extremely personal to him, for his character specifically. I'm thinking because there's got to be, even though we know John's name is Aegon, there's supposed to be a lot of resolution coming forward. So I think that we can definitely plan for a very high stakes emotional season coming up. And they've also started doing some construction on the set at Moneyglass for Winterfell. They're actually doing full out crenellations and the whole entire wall situation of Winterfell, whereas before it was usually done in CGI. Now it's completely built up, which for me, indicates that there's going to be a lot of heavy focus on what the outside of Winterfell is going to look like, assuming that the Dothraki are going to be there, the White Walkers are coming. I'm thinking maybe we might be getting a siege, some sort of siege, which we've never seen happen at Winterfell before, because supposedly the walls are so big, with being the 10-foot wall, and then I think it's a 30-foot wall right behind it. It's almost impossible to penetrate. So these are White Walkers. They can kind of do whatever they want to. So I'm thinking that we may get some heavy emphasis on what's actually going to happen outside of Winterfell versus what always happens inside of Winterfell. So that's really exciting to look forward to as well. There really wasn't a lot of news in out there this week. I do know though that Kit starts filming October 23rd. So that's exciting with him being there already and being on set and filming starting on Monday. That it's I would think that that's going to be the meat of it, where you're going to spend time focusing on Kit, some of your time focusing on Cersei, and Kit's going to be with Amelia and Sophie and Maisie and everybody else. So I think we're going to get some really good information, and I'm still holding out hope that we're not going to have to wait an extra year for season 8 because they're already filming now. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
worried. I'm definitely worried if he's crying and he's all upset.
Tom said maybe Sam dies. That would really get to Kit, I think. I think that would get to everybody. Jeez.
Yeah, I would die, but I don't think Sam's died. I just don't think that that's possible.
I think Sam's the narrator.
Yeah, he's got to be.
Well, I don't think
So
I don't think anything's going to happen to Sam. But you know what? I do think that Dany's going to die.
I've come to terms with that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's her inevitability.
I think that's why Kit was crying, because if you look at it from the character perspective, their relationship had really grown. Like there was something magical about those two. Like there was a tension between them in season 7 that finally led to naked time.
Mm-hmm.
I know what the tension's called: sexual attraction.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
But who mounts who? I mean, the dragon mounting the wolf. It can get
It
kind of
looked like they
complicated.
were doing some fair share of equal mounting, which is fine with me too.
But I guess if Dany dies, that could go to one of our theories we talked about, where maybe that's how you defeat the Night King, by relighting Lightbringer, by sacrificing Dany, by running her through with a certain sword. I don't know. I don't know.
Do you think that Jon's penis is Lightbringer and it's just going to light on fire, and then that's the end of Game of Thrones?
And then it fades to black.
That would be a better ending. Yeah. Sure.
Who knows what we're going to get? Honestly, they could throw us for all kinds of loops. I tell you what, that whole thing with Littlefinger, where he was playing Sansa through Arya, but then they were playing him. That whole thing was lost on me. I literally thought that Littlefinger had them, and then they had him, and I was like,
No.
Okay,
what?
Chris, that was probably my favorite then.
That was
Long
it.
Con for the win.
Yeah. That oh
The
yes.
Stark girls get it.
Oh, it thrilled me, and I had a feeling, but I was hoping.
Well, I would have
They left more than one wolf alive. They were stupid.
if all you got to do, if ever I make a prediction, just go the complete opposite, bet money on it, and then you're welcome. Because for some reason, I cannot predict jack and shit.
Bob's your uncle, and he wants royalties. Send him some money for those.
Yeah, big time. Absolutely terrible. So Kit Harington cries. What do you say, Trin? Or is that you?
Oh, sorry. Marnie says, I'm not agreeing with the naming of their son, Eddard Ned Targaryen.
I don't know if we can definitively say that that's what his name is going to be, Eddard Ned Targaryen. I think that, again, that's just speculation, and we should just not decide on what they may or may not name said child, especially if the child ends up a girl and not a boy.
Cheryl said a great, yes. She
gonna
just
be a
said that.
girl.
She said it's going to be a girl under her breath. And I was like, you need to say that on there.
It's gonna be a girl.
I'm personally holding out for twins. That's the only way that I can see it working out, because House Targaryen will again die off if there's not another Targaryen there to continue House Targaryen. Just one Targaryen leads to mixed blood, and if it's a girl, then she won't be a Targaryen anyways. So I'm personally holding out for twins. That's just me, but it's
Are
possible.
there no other Targaryens anywhere in the world?
Not that we know of.
That the story is giving us absolutely not. There are none. But I think
Targaryens often married other old Valyrian houses that
Yeah, but
shared
they're-
the purple eyes and the silver hair.
yeah, but that's just House Valerion, honestly.
So maybe in the book, there's maybe some survivors of the Targaryen family line, or maybe you have Blackfires floating around. But in the show, they're not really giving us that out. But I got another question for you, and whether or not you agree with this line of thinking, do you think that when Bran, the seer and knower of all things, the Dr. Manhattan of George R. R. Martin's universe, he's basically Jesus Christ at this point. When I can't stand Bran, if you haven't been paying attention to the podcast, I hate him. Anyhow, so when he goes to Jon and tells him, "Hey, you're a Targaryen, buddy," and he goes in front of everyone and says, "Hey, everyone, Jon's a Targaryen." Do you think Jon's gonna be like, "Oh, don't tell Danny, just don't fucking say anything. Don't tell anybody that we're related or we had sex"? Do you think that's gonna be an issue, or do you think that's gonna be a non-point in the show?
I don't honestly think Danny would care. What do you guys?
No, she won't care. I don't think she'll care. What do you think?
I don't think she'll care, but I mean, depending on how discreetly he does it, and that will make a difference, though, as you said. So,
Do you
What
think
about the
that
people?
Do you think that Bran's gonna actually announce it to people, or
Well,
do you
no,
think
but-
he's gonna respect Jon enough to
Yeah.
to let
Yeah.
Jon work that through on his own? Because I just can't imagine if
Yeah.
he's keeping it a secret from his own sisters, why Bran would just go out there and be like, "Hey, by the way, now that I've told Jon, Jon's a Targaryen, he's not a Stark, so everyone can go fuck themselves."
no,
Yeah.
and he's so withdrawn, and he's so, like out of kind of not out of sorts, but he's not like he was, and he's so into just like maybe one person at a time, or just he's I don't think that's going to happen. He's not going to just be like out it with everyone.
Yeah, he could probably just sit. Jon gets back, and they're sitting in private, and he wheels his little wheelchair up and says, "Jon, I got something very important to tell you." And then he tells him, and Jon's going to be like, "Look, I don't care. You're still my family. Everyone's still related to me. This is the way I was brought up."
Right.
And I think that the show may, if I had to guess, I think the show would touch on it that way. They're going to end up getting married anyway, so I don't think it really fucking matters. So it'll be touched on in that respect, but I don't think Jon would act on it, because Jon is very humble. He's not the kind of guy that say, I'm king. I'm technically the king. Bow down to the king, bitches. No,
Yeah.
that's not how Jon would be. Not at all.
No, they're going to flip it around.
The chat's saying, Armani says, I'm sorry, I lost it. Armani says, I'm not agreeing. Oh, he already said that. Tom said, Danny won't care. She grew up thinking she'd marry Viserys. Cindy says, well, didn't Danny in the books think she would marry her brother? So the thought of incest isn't foreign to her.
That's a good point.
And yeah.
I
Okay.
think that. No, go ahead.
Oh, Armani also said, Chris, I don't know about you, but what I want to see is undead Hodor kill Bran after Bran tells everyone. Once Bran spills, he's useless.
Gold star, sir. Andre is giving me this look like, fuck you all. I like that, Armani.
I don't want to see an undead Hodor at all. That would break my heart, to be quite honest with you. I think that the idea of undead Hodor, to me, even though obviously it's a possibility, the idea of undead Hodor in general is heartbreaking to me. Although I will say, if the Night King really wanted to fuck with Jon, he would have been the first person that he should have put in that lineup when they were out in the lake. I'm still having reservations as to how many more they can actually resurrect, based on the fact that every time you kill a general, there are others that fall.
Right?
So I have a theory that like Jorah said, if you take them all out one at a time, then eventually the army falls off. But then Barrett came back and was like, no, you kill him, you kill them all, which is also smarter, not harder.
Yep.
But as he loses generals, his army is falling. You know what I mean? Like, it's either way it goes. So if Jon just keeps killing generals, or somebody kills more generals, then his army is going to be depleted anyways. And I think that he needs Craster's son specifically so he can continue to grow it. With Gilly's son being missing, that severely puts a crimp in his plan because there aren't going to be any more Craster sons. Which is why I think that Craster has Stark blood in him, because the warging thing is super important. But it's a hive mind situation, just like with the wolves, and it's still definitely something that
I think
I'm looking forward to seeing. Though I will say that I think that Bran has way more to give us than just information.
Andrea, I think that whether it's a Craster specific thing or just babies in general, like a baby male, either way, he's not getting any more babies to turn into his generals. And
Well, yeah, I think that's definitely a good point. Again, there's still the question of whether or not he was like growing them up or not when he was changing them. But
Right.
yeah, no, there aren't going to be any more babies, which puts him at a severe disadvantage.
that's a good point, though. Like we got a little bit of glimpse into how he makes the said lieutenants or generals, whatever you want to call it. And when he touches them and they turn they turn into little ice cube babies. Do they
Used to be an Ice Cube baby.
do the ice cube babies like the next day they're adults, or
Exactly.
or do they have to to crystallize and get large? I don't
Potter
know what you
magic.
would call it. Yeah, Harry Potter magic. That's some of the things that I would like to have, like the the rules of the magic is one of the things that I really like about fantasy. So what is the rule here with the Night King? And I don't think we're ever going to really get that explanation.
That
Maybe
would
in
be
the
a
books
really
we
good
will.
spin-off idea.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if George is going to explain explain the rules, because like the one thing I like about Tolkien is Tolkien's world had rules to it. It has a whole Tolkien had a whole shit ton of rules and all kinds of lore written for his universe. I wonder if George has the same thing where he has, okay, well, this is how that works, and this is the principle of that and that. I don't know if he's ever done that, but that would be really neat to see. Or if I ever got a chance to ask George, like, hey, what is the rule set for the Night King? Like, what's his limitations? How many people could he control? How many is there? Is a dragon the biggest animal he could? Could he transform a whale into a white whale, a big ass white whale, or
There
a
are
squid,
no white whales. What is a white whale?
or a squid? How cool would that be if a big kraken came out and attacked the kraken of the Ironborn?
How terrifying would that be?
Yeah, I'd
God.
shit my pants in a heartbeat. matey. So I would.
that.
Our
Mom Cheryl wanted me to share this with you
That's
guys.
funny.
I don't know if you could see it.
If you're not watching live, you have to watch live. It's
What am I
literally an ice cube tray with little babies in the ice cubes.
Cute baby.
That's awesome.
Hey, I have a little weird sense of
I
That's
like it.
awesome.
sick. It's just
Yeah.
weird. It's different.
Oh, you're in good company.
I know.
Wow.
I love it. That's why I'm here.
That's hilarious.
This is a good time to mention that I am toying with the idea of our next, after we get done the pumpkin carving contest, of doing another contest, right, with cosplay, and maybe having somebody actually have someone come on the podcast with us as a winning, that's like that's the reward. How cool would that be?
Right?
That would be awesome. Speaking of cosplay, did we talk about GOT themed costumes for Halloween?
Not yet. We haven't gotten that far. We could talk about that right now if you'd like.
Yeah, that would be exciting.
I-
Go ahead.
I saw a costume where it was Hodor holding the door. A guy dressed up like Hodor and had a door strapped to his back. I wish I had a picture of it. I don't have the picture, but it was pretty neat to see that. And I was thinking, if you had a white Hodor, he would be called Odor, because the door was opened. No, is that not funny? Shit.
It would kind of just be like a funky Hodor.
Yeah. I was hoping
Hodor.
I thought that would be, in my head, it sounded funnier. And then when I said it, I realized, wow, that's really stupid.
Ew.
Yeah. My name is
That would
Odor.
still be hilarious, though. A white Hodor named Odor.
It's like Bizarro, Superman kind of thing. Wow, that was pretty lame. I
So last
apologize.
year, we had a bunch of people submit pictures of what their Halloween costumes were. I don't know if you remember. We had a few people dress up as Jon Snow. There was even this picture that was circulating around about this girl who dressed her son up as Jon Snow and gave him a white Pomeranian, and that was supposed to be
I
Ghost, which
saw
I thought
that
was
one. It was
Yeah.
the cutest
so
thing in the
cute.
world. Yeah, it was adorable. So if any of you guys are going to go out trick-or-treating with your kiddos, or you're going to a Halloween party for work or whatever, and you're thinking about doing Game of Thrones, take a picture for us. Send it to the Behind the Iron Throne Club BTIP page, or send it to behindtheironthrone@gmail.com and send it in, because we're trying to plan something really special for those of you who want to participate.
Yeah, I really would like to see what y'all do for Halloween if you dress up or any kind of cosplay. There's some really elaborate cosplay outfits, and when you guys go to Ice and Fire Con, if anyone wants to go to Ice and Fire Con from our BTIT Thronies, if you use the offer code Thronies, you when you go to check out, you'll get $5 off for the Ice and Fire Con. So you definitely want to check that out. And as far as I know, Trin, you're going. Jonathan Stomas, Starklover, Lord Ductarian is going.
Yes.
And is Goat? Is Goat gonna go? General Goat?
We're not sure about Goat. Yeah.
Either way, some of our hosts will be there, hanging out. And remember, the offer code is Thronies. I want to thank Ice and Fire Con for giving us that code. It's $5 off. $5 is $5.
Yeah.
Maybe you
No,
could,
and it's specific to us, so you guys just type out Thronies, THRONIES.
you should talk Mama Cheryl into going, and then everyone that saves $5 can get her a shot of whiskey.
There you
And
go.
then you can see Drunk Trin and Drunk Mama.
Yes.
That would be
I don't get
hilarious in one
Baloney.
location.
Baloney. I don't get
I
drunk.
hang. I don't
Yeah.
get drunk. I get cooler.
I get cooler.
Look at that.
If only I could find a really cool drink that would make me cooler. Anytime I do drink, which
All
is
the
very
drinks
rare,
make cooler.
I get more silly. I get more
Chris, I don't know if
ridiculous.
there's any way to make you more cooler than you already
Oh,
are.
that's you know what?
And you
That's flattery will get you everywhere.
What is
Thank
your
you. I
heritage,
agree.
Chris?
That's
Italian
5 gold stars right there.
Woohoo! I'll
you,
take
Chris,
swords,
Italian?
Valyrian steel, please.
What did you say,
What
Trent?
is your heritage, Chris?
I'm half Italian and half Scottish.
Well, then see, Jameson will work. Hennessy. I mean, come on.
I'm a
some good
gin.
ones.
I'm a gin guy. I like gin.
Ooh, okay.
Right?
He likes boxed wine.
I like boxed wine because I'm cheap.
I like box wine. We're
I'm
drinking.
I am
a little bit
ashamed of
cheap.
both of you.
We're
Totally
drinking
Shame.
box wine right now.
Sláinte.
Shame.
Totally ashamed.
Shame.
We should give Armani a huge shout out for all of the wonderful Christmas carols he's been writing and posting on
Yes,
the Facebook
Armani, and
page.
he did some with me. Yay! He's awesome.
Totally
He is
fun.
awesome. He is so awesome.
Keep them coming because we're actually considering singing them on the
Oh
show.
my gosh, could you compose
Yeah.
a whole
Yeah.
For
Christmas
Christmas
carol,
time.
not just like a line from a Christmas carol?
I
That
mean-
would be awesome. We could make John sing it and Chris.
I'll sing it. Yeah, I don't even need an excuse.
Right.
We'll have to get Trent to sing some songs. She
So,
wants to. Look at her. She wants to do it. She's eager. Yeah.
She's good.
Just give her a
She's got a
few.
great
Just
voice.
give her like a whiskey and some water, maybe 2, because she gets sleepy after a minute.
Right? She knows. She knows.
And then she'll sing. I know your drinking habits. That's the one thing that I
Yeah.
can
I'm like,
successfully
drink,
say
drink,
I
drink,
know.
party, party.
Give me some water.
So, can we talk Mama Cheryl into going to Ice and Fire Con?
Ooh, Mama
God.
Cheryl would need to start her own Patreon.
I still got stuff to do.
Yeah, she's
I'd love
gonna,
to.
She's trying to
Clear
like
up a business.
clear up a business and stuff.
Oh,
So,
that's tough.
Yeah, it's
always
gonna be
tricky.
a few months before she can.
When?
It's in April
Yeah,
in
I don't think-
Ohio.
I won't be done by then.
Oh, always next year.
I'm not going either,
absolutely.
Mom. I just can't.
Yeah.
No.
I just can't. As fun as it seems, and as much as I would like to meet the ladies who put it together because they are awesome, I have this severe phobia of large crowds, and it was an effort to be at the Con of Thrones for you guys. And Trin, this is more Trin and John's environment, and she had so much fun last year. So I'm really happy that you're going again to represent us. There's no way I can, especially if I plan on going to the con this year, in the next year coming up. So
I'm a lot with like you when it comes to that as well. So
yeah,
See, I'm a
being
party
at home,
animal.
having fun and having some drinks is one thing
Yeah.
because it's a controlled environment. I got really lucky at the con because I was prepared for like the worst case scenario, and it was a really chill, laid back situation. And the only people that I had to really watch out for was Trin and husband because they were having fun too. But they pulled me out to the pub crawl and that was the scariest moment of my life.
Aw.
Yeah, but
No,
you
but
did
it
it,
was
so
there.
But I'm
Awesome.
also
Azora
happy that I
Hype.
went. Yeah, Azora Hype was there, and his whole team was there. And there were so many fun people there that night. We met some fans. It ended up being really fun. I'm glad that you got me out of the house because that was totally not in my wheelhouse. But it was fun and it was totally worth doing. So I was really happy about that. But I cannot do like the wild time that they're gonna have at the Ice and Fire Con. You guys, they have a freaking party at Ice and Fire Con. If that's
Yeah,
your
they do.
scene and you want to go hang out with a crap ton of thronies who just don't care, then that's where you want to be. If you
Yeah.
just want to go and listen to people talk all the time, then go to the regular conventions.
Yeah.
Unfortunately-
no, Ice and Fire Con is super cool. A lot of games, and it's smaller and more intimate, so people definitely party a lot there.
I was
But
hoping
now-
to go this year to Ice and Fire Con, but I'm going to be doing training for my day job. And the next con in Dallas, I'm not going to be able to go to because, well, financial issues. But we're going to have some people from the team there representing, and I know that they would love to meet you guys. So if you're going to go, message us, let us know you're going to be there. And if enough people are there, maybe you guys can do a meetup or something, Trent.
Yeah, absolutely. I would totally do lunch, brunch, whatever, shots, anything.
Shots.
With- with
How would you
guys'
like to win a
coffee.
T-shirt? Go shot the shot with Trin.
Yeah.
If you get
Right.
if you beat her, you get the T-shirt.
For
Yeah,
next
well,
year, we should totally do shirts and bring them with us for the con so we can sit down and talk to fans and whatnot. We should totally do T-shirts.
We have
Tom
to. We
says
have
he's going to Dallas.
nice.
Tom, I'll see you there.
Right on,
What
Tom.
do you drink?
I wonder if
that's
they'll let us give
exciting.
away
We
some
need to-
shirts
We need to coordinate.
because we do have a shirt design that I keep forgetting. I got to email you that stuff. That my friend
Okay.
JB. JB created all the logos and stuff for my Total or Takeover Studios for Behind the Iron Throne, Apple Time, and the rest of the stuff we have. So he made me some basic stuff for Behind the Iron Throne hashtag BTID shirts. They're very basic, but it's enough to show the love. And I'll have to get them over to you, Trent, and see what you think of them. I want to try to make some, if at all possible. And Cindy says, I want to go to Dallas. Well, you should go.
You should totally
Sydney,
go.
come on. Yeah. Yes.
You guys, whatever you do though, don't waste your money on Valyrian passes. I mean, if you
No.
really want the extra T-shirt, I mean, it's an awesome T-shirt. Don't get me wrong. But if you really want the extra T-shirt, I mean, it's not worth $150 extra.
No, it's
Um,
not. It's really
yeah,
not.
We're twinning here.
Yeah.
But just get the regular pass. I think it's $169, something like that. I might even, Trin and I might even be able to get a discount, I think, because we were Valyrian holders last year. I'd have to double check that because I don't want to make any promises. But just get the regular passes. It's not worth it. If you can't do the whole entire weekend, you can literally buy a day pass.
Yeah.
So there are tons of options, especially if you're in the area. Of course, I want to do the whole entire weekend because there's so much stuff that we did last year this year, but we didn't get to do. And so we can totally do next year. But you guys should definitely go and meet up with us. Send us messages. We'll come up with a meet and greet area where we can maybe do some Game of Thrones games or something like that. Come up with something fun to do. I'm
Yeah.
actually a hop, skip, and elite from Texas.
You're
So
Definitely
it's,
going to want to book soon though, because when I was looking at the hotels, if you're going to stay at like that hotel, I think it's a Hyatt. Most of the rooms are gone.
Airbnb, bros.
So yeah, Airbnb, and then
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
place not too far. It's a quarter of a mile away, called Lacuna or something like that. They still had rooms available, so you're definitely going to want to get in on that because that con's growing fast. It's only this is the second year, right?
This would be the second year,
Yes, this will be the second year. And we did Airbnb and had a great time. And it was the same or same amount as a hotel room would have been in the area, or maybe a little bit less, I think. And we had our own bedrooms, we had a kitchen, the whole 9 yards. Like, I would absolutely recommend Airbnb.
Are you guys going to cosplay? Anybody going to cosplay when they go?
Maybe. Husband and I were thinking about it. He's got to get the wood shop going and finish he had started those shields and stuff, so we'll see. I know I've got him on so many different tasks.
That's
right
funny.
now.
Poor man.
He's looking around the house like, we just bought a new house and you want me to remodel the whole thing. You want me to make shields
And
too?
I bet you're a slave driver too. I could see you too. Like, come on, why isn't this done?
No.
Get it done. Get it
No.
done. Come on, why isn't it done yet? What are you doing? Maybe that's just my wife.
Yeah, I think it's a wife thing.
Yeah, we have the honeydew list, and it keeps
Always.
getting,
It never goes away.
keeps getting longer
Yeah.
and longer.
But yeah, maybe I'm thinking possibly cosplay, but I don't know.
I'm telling you, you should do like a combination. So I like some of the
Oh.
combinations. Whenever I go to Comic-Con or something, I see like a combination. It's usually my favorite. Like you could do like a Pixie Zelda / Khal Drago mix. That would be pretty freaking amazing.
Oh.
If you could figure out a way to pull that off,
I
Yeah.
feel like Daenerys kind of looks like Zelda anyway.
she kind of does. Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah. Do that. I
That's
could do
totally
that.
doable.
Could do that.
I like that.
Sure. We'll look at that. We'll look into it. We'll look into it.
But,
We'll
so
see.
before we get to the end of the show here, because we're getting really close to the end here. Andrea, wasn't there something you wanted to ask about Valerian or
Yeah,
something like that?
it's kind of a story actually.
Oh.
Mom, how long ago was your anniversary?
Or September 24th. Well,
Right.
that was the renewal.
We should.
Anniversary.
Can we give the backstory?
Well, yeah, you do.
Okay. All right. Thronies. Mama Cheryl was married to the most wonderful human being ever. He was literally Ned Stark incarnate. Like,
Aw,
epitome of. Really, he really was.
Yeah.
And we will refer to him as Papa because he was our Papa, us kids. And he passed away last year, October 27th, and of cancer. Fuck cancer. And
cancer.
right before that, a couple of weeks
A couple of weeks while everybody was
before,
there.
they got a chance to renew their vows because they had said on their 25th wedding anniversary they were going to renew their vows, but they knew the impending doom that was coming, and so they did it a little bit early because their actual anniversary is in November. But they got to renew their vows, which was great, and all the family was there. We happened to be out west for that. And so that was kind of the anniversary. So for the 1 year anniversary of the renewing of the vows, she got that tattoo, which Andrea helped her with.
well, I didn't really
Kinda
help her
sounds
with the tattoo she ended up with, but so I was
Up here.
being me, who I typically up a little bit, Mom. So that's
Show it.
Cool.
so that's I miss you or in Elvish, right,
Always.
Mom?
It's
Or
always
Always.
Elvish.
Okay. So she messaged me. It was like late at night one night, and I looked at my messenger, and there was a messenger from her, and it says, "I want to get a tattoo for my anniversary." She goes, "Don't tell Trin." I go, "Okay." She was like, so I was like, "What can I help you with?" And she was like, "I wanted to know if you could help me get the phrase 'I miss you' in High Valyrian." And she goes, "What did you say? The French version of it is
It's, I'm missing from you.
yeah, I'm missing, or you're missing from
You're
me.
missing from me. Yeah.
Yeah, you're missing from me." And I thought, wow, that's the prettiest thing I've ever heard. And French, you should just say it all the time like that. It's gorgeous. So she wanted me to help her do it in High Valyrian, which you guys, I know a lot about Game of Thrones. I don't know crap about High Valyrian. I mean, I know that this shirt says, "I escaped the doom," and all I got was this lousy t-shirt, because it literally says, "I escaped the doom," and I got this lousy t-shirt. So it says Issa, and I know that means shirts. But other than that, like, I know nothing about High Valyrian. So I was like, all right, challenge accepted. So I got online and I started looking for a High Valyrian dictionary, right? Well, just like with any language, when you're trying to convert it from one language to another language, you have to know that there are going to be variances and how things work out. So I'm going through it and I'm like, "I'm missing from you, I miss you," or anything like that, right? And there's absolutely no word for these specific, there's no Valyrian word for any of these specific words in High Valyrian. So I was kind of like doing this like roundabout search for it. So I ended up giving her back like this choppy version of what could possibly be construed as "I miss you" or you're missing from me. And I was like,
you
I can't
tried.
be sure about the grammar, Mom. I'm like, this is pretty close. Like, it all is kind of like roundabout. I'm like, but grammatically, you could just end up with some crap on your arm.
Yeah.
So I
for
sent
life.
her over this link for the dictionary, and she wanted to. It was for the very next day that she was going to get this tattoo,
Yeah.
and she ended up deciding on Elvish for always, but it was a really fun journey. And anyways, I got to know about the tattoo before Trin got to know about the tattoo. And then so like 2 weeks had passed by after this tattoo, and I'm like still in chat like, oh wait, Mom, does Trin know yet? Because like I don't.
That was
She's
great.
like, yeah, she knows. And I was like, oh, that's great. But I was so honored that you actually asked me specifically to help you with this.
You are
Because
the master of knowledge of this stuff, so
I wish I knew High Valyrian. I'm thinking about taking the college classes because there is actually a college course for it. But and Dothraki too. I think Dothraki. Yeah.
Dave
highly interested.
Peterson was the linguist. We saw him
Yes.
in Nashville.
And I got to talk to him too.
Yeah, and it would have been. We should have just emailed him and been
Oh,
like, "How do you
yeah.
say this?"
Okay, so for Friday's upcoming tattoo, remember, did you get that text or that PM?
I haven't. Let me look at it right now.
Sorry, fans. We're totally doing admin right now in the
Right.
middle of the show.
But we will keep you updated because it's kind of as the ice turns, as the
What?
fire and ice turns.
Sure.
No.
Oh yeah, like the drama.
Now all we have to
Here
do
I
is
am
stop
muted.
you.
I got that. As the sands through an hourglass, so are the days of our lives.
See-
So, see, I got you,
Oh.
Mama Cheryl. I got you.
But I haven't watched Days of Our Lives in like 3 years.
I
The
haven't
only one
watched it in 10,
Not good anymore.
30.
It's weird.
but
haven't
I
watched it
did watch General Hospital the other day.
Oh,
Why am I admitting that to 100,000 people? I should definitely shut my stupid mouth.
Is Sunny still alive?
Yes, he is. He is still alive.
I wonder if there's podcasts about
Jason
soap
is still-
operas the way there is about
Oh,
Game of
I-
Oh,
Thrones.
there is. Oh,
Is
for
Carly
sure.
still crazy?
Oh, yeah. She's still. I can't stand Carl. I hate her.
What
I
about
hate her.
Sam? Is
I
her
love
and Jason
Sam.
back together?
No. As far as I know, they're not. And I love Sam.
Checking all this out.
Heart's
I
broken.
have
Gosh,
naked,
I
I have
can't go back
naked
to
pictures
General
of Sam
Hospital
when she was
either.
on Baywatch.
She's gorgeous.
I met her in Disney. Last time I was in Disney, I know this is not Game of Thrones related, but we've gone so far off the rails. Who cares? We're in Disney, and it was a soap. They were having a soap opera thing. That's why we went. It was during Christmas, and my wife and I went, and we got a bunch of autographs from the soap opera people. And I'm not really. I didn't. Why am I admitting this? It was just
Right.
fun. It was.
Because
It
you're
was
just hanging with
fun.
the girls.
Yeah, it was a fun time.
You're just one of the girls tonight.
Nobody's judging.
Thank you.
Only a little bit.
Thank you. So many people are like, "Yeah, I'm not listening to the show next time, guys. Sorry." But you have to give us some time. I mean, we're just getting back into the swing of things, and we wanted to have a special episode with Mama Cheryl on. We're going to get more in detailed, in more depth of Game of Thrones. Trust me, Andrea is hankering to educate us. Believe you me.
I wanted to talk all about Magor this episode, but we had Mom, so I wanted to make sure that I reined it in. Chris kind of gave me a pep talk about what we're going to be working on.
Were you gonna do like Magor as of the new book that just the sword, the Book of Swords version kind of Magor?
Yeah, I do want
Because
to talk about
that
it
would be a
because-
great right before Halloween episode since he was Magor the Cruel.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
that would be really good. And we also have talked about him in the past, so I think it would be really nice to touch back up on that. So maybe next show we'll do some Magor.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely. You know what? That's going to be the show topic next week.
because the audiobook is only like not even an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah, I think it was an hour and 42 minutes, if I remember.
Yeah,
Well,
40 pages.
See, the thing is, I listen to everything now at 2 times speed. So I literally, when I'm listening to podcasts or books, it's like this. Ready? And I'm like, hey, it's like an auction. Hey, let's go. Thank you. I have some experience doing that, but now it's funny because when I talk to like my day job, I talk to people all the time. So I'm like, hello, this is a water softener, and when they talk to me, they're like, I would like to buy one, and I'm like, shit, I should stop listening to the audiobook so fast. Everyone sounds like they're in molasses.
Yeah.
We had a couple comments here. Jeremy says, rest in peace, Roy Detrice. Yes, that's
Yeah.
still sucks. He says, I'm doing the Audible and love him. Some hate him, but I love how he reads. It gets me feeling it. Yeah, so do I, Jeremy.
Yeah.
And absolutely love the way he reads. And if you're interested in listening, if you're listening to podcasts, then you probably like audiobooks. If you like audiobooks, we have a special deal for you right now. In the description of this podcast, you can click the link. It's an Audible affiliate for us. We get a very small kickback. It's a free trial for you. You get 2 free credits. You can listen to 2 Game of Thrones books if you like, and they're narrated by Roy Dotrice. So you can actually hear what the great Roy Dotrice sounded like when he was reading the books.
Such
It-
an awesome voice.
Definitely want to check it out. Roy Dotrice is awesome, and what better way to do it than we got you with 2. You don't even have to keep the subscription. If you do it through our link, you get 2 credits. You can get the Game of Thrones book 1 or 2 or whatever. Listen to them, enjoy it, and you don't even have to say a member, and you get to keep the books. Moving on, Alyssa says, heard the whole Jason was back. LOL. Yes. God, I'm feeling like such a jerk off right now.
Jason back?
What did you say?
What you said? You heard the whole Jason was back?
Yeah, Alyssa commented in the chat because I guess she heard me talk about the soap opera chart.
Oh,
That
okay.
too,
I
yeah.
was lost.
Oh,
Watch
me
that.
too. I was like, are we talking about a
Yeah.
serial killer? Like, is this like a
Exactly.
Halloween thing?
I was thinking like Jason Momoa.
Ooh.
I got
How good does he
excited.
look in the Justice League trailer? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Speaking of
Aquaman.
Justice League, did you know
Hottest
that girl?
Aquaman ever.
He's so fine. Did you hear that the girl who played Wonder Woman only made $300,000 for that movie?
What?
Yeah, well, actually, but here's the thing: she's in Justice League now, which means that she was added into spinoffs. So apparently,
Gal
she said
Gadot.
Yeah.
she honestly didn't care that she made $300,000 for the movie because it's the very first lead that she's ever done. So means that she'll be able to go back and she'll be able to renegotiate as the brand continues because
That's
Wonder
good.
Woman was basically newly introduced. But what I
Phenomenal
liked
job.
about her was that she was so humble about it. She said she would take $300,000 easily if that meant she got to be on screen.
I'd
Right.
take 20 grand to be on screen. You kidding me? I podcast and I did a video podcast because I like to be the center of attention. That's one of the reasons I got into it, so I could feed my ego. So if somebody was going to pay me 20 grand to be, I'd do anything. Well, almost anything. Alyssa says meant to say old Jason. Yes, the old Jason is back. That's the one my wife literally told me she would leave me for.
I would
Yes.
leave you for him too.
Wow.
Yeah, she was pretty tough. That's okay. I told her Kate Beckinsale. See ya.
I'd leave you for her too.
Gerard Butler.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Gerard Butler never made it to Game of Thrones. He would be a
I
good guy to
know.
have in there.
Actually, I just watched him. No, that wasn't Gerard Butler. I'm sorry. That was what's his face from The Gladiator. I take it back. Gerard Butler would be
Oh,
fantastic.
Russell Crowe. Yeah,
Russell Crowe. Gerard Butler would have been a phenomenal Robert Baratheon.
Mm.
Or Johnson.
Well, minus the fat stomach.
Unless we have a throw. Oh, they're not doing a throwback of that,
He
right?
couldn't be a Jon Snow unless we're like doing like a flash forward to like 40 years later.
I'm still really curious. I would like to have some kind of confirmation. Like, I would like to know what they're going to be doing these spin-offs. And hopefully they will be doing them. They're talking about them, but HBO did this before. HBO talked about spin-offs with other brands, and they said, oh, yeah, we're going to do it, and then they never did it.
Well, there is
So-
some news about the spinoffs, and HBO is really, really psyched about them. Apparently, they said that I just want to get their wording correctly. It was actually I was a little bit surprised by it. They said that it's an embarrassment of riches. So they're set to make a ton of money off of these
Embarrassment
spinoffs.
of riches.
Embarrassment of riches,
Yeah.
meaning that they're
Okay.
going to get a ridiculous amount of money for these spinoffs. So I can't imagine them abandoning them. And there are still 5 scripts that are in the work. One of them is completely finished. The other one is being worked on specifically with George R. R. Martin and one of the other producers or writers or something like that for the show. I can't remember his name. And then the other 3 are still in progress, but they're like under they're like under lock and key. And we're not guaranteed that we're going to get all 5 or even more than one, but I don't think that they're going to back off of it at all.
I hope not, because I actually know people that literally have it will almost literally have money sitting right in front of them, and all they have to do is like bend over and pick it up, and they won't. And
Right.
I just hope that HBO isn't going to do that. They see that there's a lot of money to be made, and not only that, but man, we the fans are just clamoring to get more Game of Thrones. It's like, I think Trent, you mentioned this on the previous episode, where the Game of Thrones has become the Star Wars of
Yep.
fantasy. You know what I mean? Like it's that big. And at least I think
Yeah.
so. I mean, holy
Yeah.
shit! I've never seen anything like this.
And it's gaining popularity every day. Like, I have friends at work that are like, I've never watched it before, and I keep spamming, or I'll share this podcast, and they're like, oh, I gotta really watch that, and then one of them will watch it and be like, whoa, it's really
Yeah.
good, and I got addicted overnight. And I think the more people that stumble across it, it's gonna get huge, and it's just gonna get even more huge as time goes by, because
Yeah.
people can't help themselves. It's amazing.
If I was HBO, what I would do is I would go find all the podcasts that are in the top 20 and give them all a check every month.
For free advertisement,
Yes.
right?
Send us a
know.
check
Write us a
because
check and I'll podcast every day.
every single day, every day,
I have
every
something-
day.
Who needs a book club? I'll just come on the podcast and we'll do a book club on the podcast. You want to write me a
Read
check?
the
That's
book.
fine. I'll be here every day.
Speaking of which, if we get to a certain point, which I'm hoping we do soon, with the Patreon, for example, I'm hoping that we can do a secondary show for our Patreon subscribers, in like a T-shirt or
Yeah.
some kind of reward. Maybe we give you a BTIT collectible spoon. I don't know. Gotta think of something.
What do
but,
you guys want? We
Yeah.
want to know from the fans.
Yeah, what do you
Okay.
want?
What do you want for helping make this a bigger, better broadcast?
Can
Let
I
us
answer that
know.
as the first Patreon
Sure.
and fan?
Yeah.
Patriots.
That Patriots.
That's good.
We want you all to be happy with
Oh,
what you're doing and have the best equipment you can have and that you need, because that helps us, and we don't need stuff, although we like stuff. I say shot glasses, but I'm just saying, no, just for you guys to have the best of what you need, because this is awesome for us. You
That's
guys,
awesome.
you need to know how much we love y'all and appreciate you. You're all great. I really miss Jonathan.
Yes,
And
I
I
missed
want
you
to say a
too.
shout out to Anthony and to Tom and to Lord Bags. I've never met you, but hello, we chat. So
You guys
that's,
are so cute in the chat too. I just love
know.
you guys. How you interact with one another.
well,
I mean,
wonder if
I think
could
that's
show
the
my
most
mixer.
amazing part of it, other than Game of Thrones itself, is coming in here, going live, hanging out with you guys, and then
oh, the people
seeing
are great.
all of you guys, chatting it up in the chat, completely separate from us, just having your own little relationships and your conversations. It's probably one of the most rewarding things. If I come back for anything, that's why I come back, is just to hang out with you guys,
Right.
because it's so awesome to see you guys communicate with each other. You and Steven and Anthony and
Yeah.
Tom, everybody. It's just so awesome to see you guys and chat together. I
The
mean,
community
half
is
of
what
the
does
stuff
it.
half the stuff that I love about the show is literally just going back through and reading the comments, because you guys are hilarious.
Now-
Well, thank you all for bringing us together.
It's been years in the making. Years in
Yeah.
the making. I mean, when we first
yeah.
started this podcast, if you go back to episode 1, we re-recorded that episode I think 3 times, and I had to put background music in it because I thought that's what you did, And I went back and listened to that episode, and I'm like, holy crap! And all the people that helped out to get the podcast to this point, like Kelly, and we had June, and of course Chris, Lord Tang, and many different people like Larissa. It was just an amazing adventure. Now I'm going to do something live here, which I really shouldn't do. Is I'm going to pick up my camera. I'm going to hold it over some of the equipment that our supporters help pay for, so you can see what kind of goes into this a little bit. This is a behind the scenes, and I know that the people listening to the podcast aren't really going to be able to. There's no way, because you got to be able to watch it, but you can watch this after the fact on the Facebook page, facebook.com/Behind the Iron Throne. So I'm going to make some wiggly cam here, and this is like a big production no to do something like this, because I'm showing. Okay, so that's the top of my balding head, and right down there, I'm going to zoom in here and see if I can zoom into that. Is the mixer that I just got? Well, the company just bought me, and that's that's what really helps make the magic. And next to it is a preamp, and of course I have over here a big ass computer. So there's a lot of production gear that goes into all this. And not to mention the fact that I literally have sacrificed 3/4 of my basement and turned it into a studio for my love of podcasting. And of course, I also do YouTube videos and stuff like that. But right now, the predominant part of my work is Game of Thrones. It's this podcast. So I should also, a big shout out to my wife for not divorcing me for all this stuff.
Yay, wife.
Yay.
You're the best wife.
And
Who
thank,
knows? What's
and-
her first name?
her name is Joanne. And thank you so much, Armani, for seeing my receding hairline. And
Oh,
AKA,
wow.
AKA
Wow.
hot wife.
my hairline.
Receding hairline.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't deserve her.
Friend, how's husband?
Husband, say hi.
Hi,
Yay.
Husband's my drinking partner.
Husband is awesome when he's drinking.
And I hear he can be a good pack mule when you go on your adventures to the
Oh, yeah.
cons.
Phenomenal at
He's a
that.
good pack mule.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
He's great.
He's got lots of arms and legs, so it really helps when you need to carry stuff. I mean, consider.
He's
I
like
mean,
Lord
literally,
Garmadon.
I'm the size of a church mouse next to him.
He's like Lord
Trent is the
Garmadon
size of a
from
church mouse
Ninjago.
next to him.
Carry a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Behind the Iron Throne. Unfortunately, we have to call it a night. I want to thank my great panel of hosts. I love you guys. We would not have this. Is literally there would be no show without them. If it wasn't for them, there would be no show because I have zero talent when it comes to the Game of Thrones. I want to thank you so much, Mama Cheryl, for guest hosting with us. You're always welcome to pop back in here.
Okay.
We love you to
I
death.
meant to scooch in.
I know.
Okay. There you go.
Even though you're John's #1 fan, you're one of my #1 listeners. I love you to death. So, and that's not. Just
I love all you guys, and
Yeah.
I'm all your #1 fans. And I want to thank Tran for bringing me here. This is a very important week for me, and I get to spend it with her, and I'm so happy. And this with you guys is just awesome, and we love you. We just love you, and I've turned all my friends on to you guys, and it's just wonderful.
Aren't they so cute sitting
Keep up
next to
the
each
They
other?
are. If only we could get this every week.
So cute.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah.
No, thanks for asking.
They're like,
no,
no,
pussy in the show, sorry.
not happening. All right, Trent, thank you so much for being on the show as usual. And
Thank you.
please tell everyone where they can find you.
You guys can find me on social media at Dovahkiin Trin, and I'll be posting some pictures on my Instagram here pretty soon of my fun weekend and Mama Cheryl too. Oh,
And she's so beautiful.
That's awesome.
Aw, she takes after her mama.
Isn't that good? I'll always love
Looks
my
like she takes after her
mama.
daddy too, though. She's definitely a dead-on blend. I can see.
hmm
Oh yeah.
You guys are Targaryens. I'm sorry, you're Targaryens.
Exactly.
I am a
Look at
Targaryen.
that
She is.
blonde hair.
She is.
It's
Hey,
a-
guess
it's an
what?
awesome
Amelia
thing.
Clark wants to be a Targaryen too. Finally.
That's awesome. Of course, I want to thank our mistress of whispers, Andrea. Thank you so much, and it's been real. You know, ever since we first met, you've just completely made this podcast better, the whole network better, and I'm so grateful to have you, not only on the podcast as a host, but also as my friend. So thanks.
I'm glad to have you too as a friend. I really quick, I want to say thank you to every single person who downloaded our podcast during the regular season of Game of Thrones. I don't know how far in Chris gets to announcing the numbers, but we had a significant jump this year versus last year, and all the support and the downloads, it means so much to us. And I mean, it's literally an overwhelming number of people that downloaded in comparison to the previous years, and it means a lot. I mean, we really appreciate your patronage. There are no words.
We grew exponentially this season.
hmm
Yes.
I've never given away numbers during a show. I normally don't, but I'll do it for this particular show because Mama Cheryl's got me all feeling like the moms here. So yeah, we did over 100,000 downloads on some of our top shows. It was I mean, literally, I looked at the numbers, and my business partner Trisha Woods, that helps me. She owns a studio with me. She couldn't be here tonight, unfortunately. But when we saw the numbers, it was like, oh my God, we never imagined. We were happy years ago when we got 200 listeners, and we got 200 bits of hate mail every day. So now we get like maybe 10 bits of hate mail and over 100,000 downloads, and that is a sign that we're doing something right. And if you guys are feeling good, it makes us feel good. It's all about having a good time and having those. It's all about having those relationships. And I believe that I will always believe that until the day my microphones explode in my face and kill me.
Well, and I've met you, and Andrea, I love you. You're awesome, and you're the queen of stuff, man.
Oh,
Queen of knowing stuff.
And I don't even drink.
I drink and I know things.
Yeah, well, yeah,
She
right.
doesn't even drink, but she knows everything. You know
I
what?
read and I know
Together,
things.
You guys
Oh,
are. I drink
see?
and I know things.
Yeah, but I'm a good researcher too. So well, maybe you'll have a shot. No.
Right. You
And
drink
we'll
and
talk.
I'll read at the same time, and together we'll know things.
Okay.
We got some really good comments before we
It's a
leave.
plan. Pinky swear.
If you want to read,
Thank you, Cindy. Cindy says best GOT podcast
That's
out
awesome.
there. That's for sure.
Mwah.
And Alyssa says you guys break down the episodes the best. Oh,
yay!
Thank you.
Jeremy says twinning, #twinning, and he also
like
says
that.
it's going to grow even more, our podcast. I think he's talking about. We love you, fans. We love you guys. The community is amazing. You guys are awesome. And anything you want, we are here for. We'll do it. We just love
That's
this.
true. I mean, somebody will definitely do it.
With this community, it's gotten me because when I got real sick a couple I guess it's 2 years ago. I got real sick and I stopped podcasting for almost a year, and I had given up. And then I got back into it. Kind of Trish talked me into it and said, "Let's give it one more try." So we did. I was ready to shut the studio down. So here we are back doing podcasting again. And this podcast in particular, this is our number one podcast. It's even greater than my Apple Time show. And it's gotten me excited to do other podcasts again, like maybe Nerd Theater, and maybe bring back another old show, or maybe start a couple new shows. I'm definitely into. I want to do some more stuff. So, because of the work that my team has done and the support that they've given me, and of course a community. Without you guys, I wouldn't be podcasting right now. It's gotten me excited again to try to do other shows as well. So very excited, and if you guys keep supporting us, we'll keep making podcasts one way or the other, win, lose, or draw.
Alyssa says, do it.
Come on, do it. Do it now. Come on.
Armani says, #growing strong.
Awesome.
Yay, I like
hilarious.
hilarious.
I miss you, Jonathan.
We miss you, Lord
Yeah.
Ducktarian. He's here in
And-
spirit.
I can't believe of all nights he had to be
I
out.
know.
I know.
You're gonna get so much stuff for this, Jonathan. Boy, I'm telling you.
We'll have to have a joint call.
But I'm still gonna stay his number one fan.
All right, we're out of here. We'll see you guys next time. We're going to stick around for a post-live show for a few minutes.
Just a
Another
few minutes
reason.
because I got Outlander.
Yep. And nice. Okay.
I got it.
We're out of here. Peace.